What's the word? What's the word? What's the mother word, man? Tap in, bro. Today, we talking about how the shoe resellers done pretty much died out and we ain't got nothing to fear. Nothing. Nathaniel, you feel me? Nothing to fear. So get in here and we're gonna talk about it. You feel me? Like, comment, and subscribe. I know I said it, but I'm gonna say it again. You feel me? Now, if you know and if you don't know, let me go and lace you up real quick. You feel me? Since we talking about shoes, you know what I'm saying? Resellers since COVID have been racking up money, hitting us across the head for these sneakers. You hear me? Blowing out our speakers for these sneakers. You know what I'm saying? That's what they've been doing to us, man. It hasn't been a good run with shoes, bro. Like, I can tell you right now, bro, I have the worst story of buying shoes off of the GOAT app. I bought a pair of Pantone 11s, and shout out to Turtle. I know you was the only person I ever seen with these shoes, big dog, and you know how I feel about these UNC Blues. But back in the day when they came out, you know, they came in a pack, so you had to get them with like the 23s or 24s. I don't really remember which one it was, but the pack was like $450 or something like that. So a lot of, maybe it was $500. I don't really remember. But people weren't really trying to buy it because nobody wanted the other shoe. You feel me? But that's how they sold the shoe, because they knew the 11s was gonna sell. Nike need their ass for doing that. But great marketing tactic, because you know at the end of the day they forced people to buy a shoe that nobody was gonna buy in order to get the Pantone 11. So since they came out, I always wanted these shoes, bro. Like, there was no mistaking it. As a UNC guy, like, there's no way that I can have a collection without having these UNC 11s. 11's legendary, UNC is legendary. You feel me? So I get these things off of GOAT, bro. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I just knew I had the best sneakers that money could buy. I paid $800 for these Pantone 11s, bro, on the GOAT app, bro. Now, they say that they do certified checking, certified verifying. These are lying. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now, they're lying. They're lying. And I wish I still had the pictures, bro. If I still had access to my old email, I would probably be able to show them. But maybe one day if I get it, I'll show it. But wore these shoes a couple times, bro. Like, probably like 3-4 times, maybe more than that. You know, like, I wore these shoes in Texas, like a lot, like in Dallas. Like, you know, even though it's hot in Texas, it's not as hot as, you know, other places. So, you know, we went on a trip to Vegas, and I packed these shoes, bro. And we go out, and I remember it like it was yesterday, dog. Like, I'll never forget the embarrassment around this situation, man. And bro, when I tell you we went out, it was so hot in Vegas. Like, there are no trees to be found for the most part. Vegas, just sun beaming on you. Like, that's just what it is. Like, I ain't saying I know what slavery felt like, but boy, that had to be close. So go out, you know, to this little spot that my brother found on TikTok, and it ended up being some damn Barbie spot. Like, I don't even know. We went in there, everything was all pink, but they had good food, so we sat down and ate anyway. But while we were sitting down waiting on the reservation, I went under the tree and smoked, you know, while we in Vegas. So, you know, it was like a little tree out there. I caught me a little shade, you know, stood out there and smoked, you know, whatever. So, mind you, I got my Pantone 11s on. So, I go back into the building. I'm in a little coffee shop, whatever it was, I don't know, TikTok shop, I don't know what it was. Go back in the building, whatever, and I sit down. And, you know, sitting there talking, you know, cracking jokes, whatever, you know, like, I can't believe you picked this spot, Mari. Like, what's going on, bro? You tripping. And, bro, I'll never forget it. It was like I moved my foot, and, like, I don't know, it felt like water was under my feet. Like I don't know, like I was on air or something like that. You know, I didn't think nothing about it. You know, I'm just like, man, I'm tripping. You know, I'm sitting here engaged. You know, I'm just, you know, acting crazy. So, you know, move my other foot, whatever, and, man, I looked down, and, bro, my sole was like this and my shoe was like this, bro. Like, no lie, bro. Like, I was just like, oh my goodness, bro. And at the time, I think when we were out there, maybe it was because my brother had a basketball tournament, I think. So, it was a lot of like, the kids around his age with him. So, I was like, there's no fucking way, bro, that my shoes just did this, So, I sit down and eat, because it's like, yeah, I'm not finna walk back to the car. I don't have a pair of shoes with me, I'm just finna, go, back to the hotel and, just pretty much, I mean, not the hotel. We had an Airbnb at the time, badass Airbnb, and I was like, man, we just finna go back, to the Airbnb and pack these up, So when I got back to the car, I told everybody what was going on. They were like, man, I was wondering why you was walking like that. Because walking back to the car, I'm kind of like dragging my feet like a sloth, like, oh my goodness. Like, I'm really like not trying to have these soles come off because it's already hot outside. They're hanging on by a thread, So I get home, they're talking, what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, it's over. And I'll never forget this, bro. Like, I remember it vividly. I hit up Goat, wanted to do a refund on them, and like I told you, I had them for a while. By the time I made it back to the house, I finally saw like when I removed the well, it wasn't removed, but like it was flopping more. So you could see the sole, and inside the sole, it had a price for $29.99, like or something like that, $49.99 for the sole. So it was like somebody pieced it together with glue. So I'm guessing that's why it passed inspection, with the black light and stuff like that. They just, I guess they did a good job, or maybe Go just didn't do a good job of checking. Either way, they got to me. And Goat tried to give me a hard time about, returning these shoes because it was outside of their return policy. And I was like, at the end of the day, bro, I don't really care what you got going on. I said, I know for a fact I bought, a couple pair of red bottoms. This would never have happened to me if I would have just went to Neiman Marcus and spent my $800 there. I could have got me a pair of, nice Louboutins, So it was like one of those things. And I was just like, it's just not fair because at the end of the day, I would have never known that these were fake shoes unless, unless they had been tested in the elements, and that's what happened in Vegas, So I was just like, it's not right. So, eventually they were like, I'm gonna tell you the option they gave me. They were like, hey, you can list them and try and resell them, or you can just send them back there. So I said, I wouldn't dare try and sell nobody these shoes, bro. Like, are you crazy? Like, I'm sending this thing back to you on the first thing smoking, man. So I sent it back to them, and it was one of those things where they refunded me. And I never fooled them again. I had bought some Fear Guys off of there for like $800, and then I bought like some Yeezys off of there, some Yeezy boots back then, and I never bought anything off of there again. But I'm so glad that market is dying because, bro, like you pay this astronomical price for shoes that just got released for $220, at the most $250. What we used to pay for phone posits, So it's like, you paying these astronomical price, like for instance the UNC 4s that I got. This was back when the resellers were snatching everything, bro. You couldn't get these shoes in the store. You had to pretty much the day they dropped either wait in line and hope on getting them, or just pretty much just go drop 400 plus on these shoes, in order to get these in your collection. And y'all know how I feel about the UNC blue. It's going down. I ain't trying to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go get them, and I got a couple pair of shoes like that, bro, to where I had to pay aftermarket price for them. Yeah, bro, like it's one of those things where it's not fair, bro. Like it's not, bro. Like these shoes don't cost that much money to make, and the fact that people are manipulating the market to drive up the price is insane, bro. Like we don't like it when they do it for gas. We don't like it when they do it for groceries, bro. We do not like it when y'all do it for shoes, bro. We do not want to pay $400, $450 for a pair of shoes every time they drop. Now, granted, sometimes it might happen like that, like, and you got to go out here, you know what I'm saying, and, find somebody that got them secondhand. But, bro, every time a shoe drop from Jordan, Nike, whatever, y'all mean to tell me they always sold out. Stop the cap, man. Stop the cap, bro. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it, bro. So, me personally, I'm glad that the resellers are dying. And, at the end of the day, let them die. I holler.